Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a first impression and some swatches of the new Too Faced Peanut Butter and Honey palette. So I got this a couple days ago and have used it twice now, yesterday and today. I just wanted to give you sort of my first impressions as well as some swatches. So this is what the actual packaging looks like. This is one of their typical 9-pan palettes and retails for $36. I picked mine up at Ulta, and as a Platinum Perk we got access to it a little bit early. But did want to share with you my sort of first impressions and some swatches. So first, let's talk about the scent. It really does smell like peanut butter with like a floral hint to it, which is where that honey aspect comes in. It really just smells really nice. But this is again what the actual palette looks like. Let's do it the actual right way. In that, per usual, they have rows that are named as well as the individual shadows that are named. I'm going to do 3 swatches at a time. So let's do Creamed Honey, which is this top fair shade. It's sort of like a peachy pink pastel matte shade with some micro glitter in it. Then of course we're going to do Peanut Butter, and I do want to swatch Peanut Butter next to the peanut butter from the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, because I did notice they are slightly different. I can grab it. Okay, so this is the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, and Peanut Butter, the shade is located in the same spot in both palettes, but this was the Peanut Butter from the Peanut Butter and Honey palette, and this is Peanut Butter from the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. One more shadow to swatch from that row, and that is this Going Nuts, which originally I thought was going to be one of my 2 favorite shades. The other was going to be Honey Brittle. But Going Nuts is like and it applies really prettily in swatch form. This is what Going Nuts looks like. It's like a satiny, shimmery shade, very pretty, but it applies with a brush horribly, unfortunately. I even tried to use it as sort of like a liner with a really small angled brush this morning, and it did not apply that well that way either. Again, so those are the, let's see, which ones are these? Creamed Honey is up here. You can't really see it because it is basically my skin tone. This is Peanut Butter from the Honey shade, Peanut Butter from the actual Peanut Butter from the Peanut Butter and Honey palette, Peanut Butter from the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, and Going Nuts. So those are the first handful of swatches. Let's go ahead and remove those. And then we'll do the next row. That row, was Sweet as Honey. And now we're going to go ahead and do Queen Bee, which is the second row across. So the first shade is really soft. It's called B-E-E Sweet, which is basically just a powder pink sort of shade. Then we have Honey Brittle, which I thought was going to be, again, one of my favorite shades from the palette. And it's just really sheer and it's sort of difficult to build up pigmentation, again, especially with a brush. It would be stunning as a blush shade because of how sheer it is. But I actually swatched it next to Coralista, and they are pretty similar, though this is matte and Coralista does have a little bit of glow to it. Okay, so this is Bee Sweet. Again, you can't really see it, but it's sort of like a powder pink shade. This is Honey Brittle. See how sheer that is? I can even try to build it up for you. But it really just doesn't want to be. And then this is Bee's Knees, and that is sort of a matte shade, again, with more gold micro glitter. So that is the second row, Queen Bee. Ooh, excuse me. And then we'll go ahead and do the last row, which is PB&H, and this is the first shade, which is Queen Bee. This one is not as soft as Bee Sweet from the second row that we just did. And it is more of it almost has like a satiny quality to it, but it is more matte, but it does have a little bit of a sheen. Again, that was Queen Bee. The next shade that we're going to be swatching is Honey Bee, which is that mustard yellow shade, and honestly, it looks like I have mustard on my skin when I apply it as a swatch. And then the last shade in this row and in the palette is Feeling Nutty. And that one actually is a really nice shadow. So those are the last row swatched. Turn this around. And this was Queen Bee, which I don't know if you'll be able to see the glow it gives. This is Honey Buns, not Honey Bee. Honey Buns, which is that mustard yellow shade. and this is Feelin' Nutty, which is a matte warm tone brown shade as well. So those are these swatches. So I do want to share the looks that I have made so far with this palette and sort of my overall thoughts. So yesterday I used Creamed Honey. I sort of used to set my primer because there is not just a matte cream or white shade in this palette. This is as close as you're going to get, even though there is some micro glitter in it. So I used that sort of to set my eye primer. Then I went in with peanut butter lightly in the crease. Then I went with Honey Brittle, which I thought was going to be stunning on the lid, and it gives really nice sort of coral color to the lid. And I did use Coralista to sort of match my eye look to my blush yesterday. And then I used Going Nuts in the outer V and sort of blended that into the crease. And then Creamed Honey again to just sort of go over the brow bone. I was really disappointed, unfortunately, with the quality of Going Nuts, the blendability of it. It just looked really patchy on my lids no matter how much I blended it. And then again, Honey Brittle was just not as pigmented as I was anticipating it being and was looking forward to it being. And then today, what do I have? Today on my lids, I used Creamed Honey to sort of set in my primer. And as my brow bone sort of blending in brow bone highlight, then I used peanut butter and Feeling Nutty. No, I used peanut butter again in the crease. I used Queen Bee as a lid color, and you don't really get that glow that you get that you saw on the swatch or when I swatch it. Like I said, it has that sort of sheen to it. You don't get that on the lids, unfortunately. I thought it might even be good as a highlight because of that sheen, but I really don't think it would work that well. And then I used Feeling Nutty in the outer V and sort of blended that into the crease as well. Overall, I'm not super thrilled or in love with this palette like I was with the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. The shadows in this palette, first off, there's more shimmer shades to be used as lid colors in the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. And I really just don't think the quality is as wonderful as the Too Faced shadows that I am used to, specifically in the 9-pan palettes. So that is sort of my little first impression and swatches of the Peanut Butter and Honey palette. If you do have any questions, please feel free to let me know down below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching. Bye.